second note on the history of philosophy by the stunning Bertrand Russell. Um, Overwhelming, a work of such magnitude, majesty that it's not possible to talk about it, especially for a humble reader like this one, except in awe and admiration. And anyway, this is in fact a note which um, was generated by a single chapter, which is only something like 16, 17 minutes long. Apart from lectures dedicated to Descartes, Plato, Aristotle, Locke, in fact there are three for Locke, Bertrand Russell once in a while dedicates a space, a separate uh, episode to a little synthesis of some kind. And in this case it's the influence of Locke. But he doesn't limit himself to Locke, he makes some pronouncements which are startling for laymen, like this one here. So, one thing which attracted my attention, the idea that power, political power in many monarchies, is transmitted from one generation to the next. But then in democracies, you have to have elections. You don't give the power from one to the next. There's no such thing. You elect the prime minister, a president, and then after 4 years another one, except for Africa. And even there it's changing. Many parts of democracies. With failures, but still. But what about economic power? It's an interesting point. Nobody feels anything nobody feels anything wrong about giving the fortune away to the successors, and in this way transmitting economic power from one generation to the next. That's an interesting thought I never thought about. Then he suggests some schematic descendancies. He makes a point to say that it's just schematic to have a map. But then we have on one side Locke, empiricists, and on the other Descartes. Descartes transmits his influence through Kant, Locke through the English school, Berkeley, Hume, which is the peak of empiricism. Kant is an interesting situation because he was a Democrat, a liberal, a humanist, but then the followers who called themselves liberals would disappoint him. He would reject, if he would come alive, he would reject what they did. In terms of liberalism, we have hard-headed liberals through lines of descendancy, and not weak-hearted, I forgot what he said, soft-hearted liberals. On the hard-headed line we have, from Marx, Stalin, and then on the soft-hearted branch we have Nietzsche, and we end up with Hitler. As I said, Russell clarifies this and says this is just to give an idea, to give a mental picture. He says a few other interesting things in terms of ethics. Ethics is a priori crucial, paramount, fundamental for Kant, who says if you're kind to a brother because you care about him, that's not being ethical. And he insists on the well-known categorical imperative. And there's another interesting aspect. Those who insisted on happiness were those who indeed thought about systems to help humanity become happy. There was those who rejected pleasure and happiness, and those insisted on other motives like heroic heroism, uh, heroic impulses, and then romantic Byron. This is Byron, where um, Bertrand Russell says we have heroes who are not at all nice individuals. Very interesting, powerful, short explanation. He also talks about Spinoza, about the idea of God, and the fact that Spinoza has taken his arguments from 4 centuries earlier from Anselm, and then Hobbes insists on power. There were some who don't believe in happiness, as mentioned before, and they put other things, not pleasure, but power is at the center of Hobbes' thinking, and so it is for Spinoza, it seems. Then some other funny aspects, like for Hobbes, if I'm not mistaken, a table is a collection of souls. So interesting.